Good morning, Joe. Ask Joe about money, March 3rd, 2023. It is 9:30 a.m. The market is just opening, and we are going to do our market open. And so the first thing we're going to look at is the overnight session. We closed yesterday. So here is 4. So is this a green candle? So it looks like that. Yep, so I have it in there. So I started putting in my numbers, my daily numbers. We have yesterday's close there. The overnight low is here. The overnight high, and look at that, the overnight high, that's really interesting. The overnight high reached exactly to the tick the open of the week. So that's really interesting. Right now the market's opening slightly down for the week, but that was the open of the week. So that's going to be an important number, I think, for us to look into today's trading day, because this is going to determine whether the week ends up on a net positive or net negative. So we have yesterday's high here, yesterday's close, overnight low, and yesterday's low. Now let me also go in and put in the open for today. So this is where we're opening. Let's see here. We are opening right there. All right, so that's a 24-hour session. So on the 24-hour session, we're going to go and review what happened yesterday, and then we're going to look at today, of course. But the overnight session, basically, we pulled back to some support here, and we've been buying, and now right at the end, there's been some pullback. But net, we're definitely the overnight session from about 3 a.m. until when the market just opened, we're definitely trending up. Just something to keep an eye on. And now let's go ahead and what I would like to do now is go to the regular trading session, because that's where we see the gap and we look at. So now we're going to look at the regular trading session. So I kind of want to look at what's been happening this week. So basically this week, let's first just look at yesterday. What happened yesterday? Yesterday we gapped down, and then we made the low of the day immediately. Of course, we didn't know it at the time, but the market came up and then came up into this resistance, and then we finally broke out. This was really the changing bar of the day yesterday. Once they put this bar, I know there's a big wick on top, but a big bull bar. At one point, this was all green, obviously, but it closed down here, so that wasn't that favorable. But for me, what I did is, instead of buying this, is I waited, because I saw this and I wasn't crazy about that, and they sold it, but I wanted to see the reaction to the sell. They bought it immediately, and then I waited for one more bar confirmation, so I got long above this bull bar right there. Okay, and that's how I managed that trade yesterday. So yesterday, basically, we undid a lot of the damage of the last couple of days. So we came back up here. Now we're at resistance, right? Now we're at resistance. So let's take a look at the 15-minute chart. So this was yesterday, this was Wednesday, so this was last Friday. So we opened up here. For the week. We went up, failed, down, up, all the way down here, came to support, and guess what? They ended up buying it. And again, it's not perfect, because we actually came below yesterday or last Friday's support, but they bought it from there. But now we're at resistance. Can we see a move down to support? Yeah, because we just did that. This week we went from resistance to support, and now from support to resistance. So now we are at resistance. Okay. Don't forget, when we're at resistance, if we break out, this could be a point where the market breaks out and we resume longs, or it could be a reversal to the downside. So we're not going to predict. We're just going to observe. And here we are. The first bar is about to close here. So that was the open. So let's see what targets we have near us. We have yesterday's close would be an obvious target to the downside. The upside, really, it's a little bit harder in terms of, if we see the market reverse back up, we start seeing green bars, you just have to hold your nose and buy, because of course there's resistance here, and there's resistance here, and there's resistance here. But if the market has energy, those resistance points, they can just blow right through them. I'm not going to want to wait until we clear all this resistance to get long, because if we start seeing the train moving and it happens somewhere down here, and how are we going to know that? We're going to see big bull bars, and that would be a case to get long, right? That would be that. To the downside, now the downside's interesting. See, the upside for me, just by that first bear bar, is not overly convincing, because now we're opening pretty far above the moving average. We've been above the moving average since yesterday. afternoon, about 1:30 yesterday afternoon. We've been above it. Now we opened above it. Now, where are the buyers? So let's see. Now, that's just as of the first bar. That can certainly change, and it does change, and it will change. But for now, we're just going to be looking at, we're also at the 4,000 number. This has been an important number. It's just, we've been oscillating around this number for quite some time. So 4,000 is also a big number, right? So that's going to be a number to pay attention to as well. But for now, we're going to wait and we're going to watch. So here we are about 10 minutes in, and this bar is about to close. So we have the opening range high for 0650 and opening range low 399.25. All right, so let's see what happens. We're above the moving average. The moving average is going to be moving up with the price action, but I can tell you this, we're not going to stay in this range here for the rest of the day. So we're going to watch. We're going to see what happens. We're going to see if they put in some green bull bars here. We'll be interested in the possibility of a long, because that would make sense, right? Because where the continuation, where you're at support here, consolidates, then it goes back up. So that would make sense. But I could also make sense of the fact that this is a reversal down and we sell off. So either way, we have some room, or we could be in a trading range today. So we'll find out. I'm not predicting. I'm just observing what I'm seeing. And we get paid in the market based on how we interact with the market. And that's really the definition of performance. Just like an athlete would perform, how he's interacting with his environment and his opponents. Same thing as traders. How, to the extent that we can get ourselves and our beliefs out of the way, because your beliefs are just as worthless as my beliefs when it comes to the market. So once we get our beliefs out of the way and we could observe and be in harmony with the market, as Bruce Lee would say, water, my friend, and we just be, and what that means to me, like water, is being one with it. Going, if you look at like a leaf floating down a river, that leaf doesn't have a mind of its own. That leaf is taking on the power of the river as it ebbs and flows and as it goes around the corners, but putting no effort whatsoever. And that's what we want to accomplish with the market. It should be effortless. It should be, we're just waiting patiently and the opportunity comes. We take the opportunity and then we manage our trade based on reading the market, not based on what we think, not based on what the news, not based on what they're saying on CNBC, because if you're wasting your time doing that kind of stuff, let me know if you're profiting from it, because I did that for years and I never made money. As a matter of fact, I lost a lot of money doing that. Our job as traders is to read the market, and whatever that means to you. I happen to be looking at a 5-minute chart and I look at bull bars and bear bars, and that's my way of doing it. You may have a different way. That's fine. But we have to remember that we have to get ourselves out of the way. And the reason why I don't use any indicators, the reason why I just use one exponential moving average, a 20-period EMA, is because I want to get to as close to price action as I could. If they were still trading in the pit, I would actually want to be in the trading pit. So since we don't have that, I don't want to have indicators clutter my charts. And there's many people that do have that, and they do it successfully. So that's just me, because it's my way. It's the way that I found to be in harmony with the market, to be like water within the flowing river of the market itself. I'm looking at this market. I have no anxiety. I have no fear. I have no expectations. Hey, Joe, what if the market stays in a range bound the entire day like it did last Friday, as a matter of fact, and we don't get any moves? Then that's what's going to happen. And then what if you don't take any trades? Then I won't take any trades. Like there's no pressure. There's days where I take a lot of trades. There's days where I'm trading a lot, and there's days when I'm not. So that's not up to me. That's not about how I'm feeling. That's about what mood is the market going to be in today. Right now, I am taking the market's temperature. So far, no real buyers or sellers are showing up. But, okay, it's our job to be prepared, because I know a mistake that I would make early on is I would see this price action here in the first 15 minutes and be like, this is going to be a slow day. Nothing's happening today. And then come back at the end of the day and saw that I missed a big move. So one thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to be here. Okay, I'm going to be sitting here at my desk. I'm going to be here waiting and looking and watching. And sometimes I'm here for hours. Sometimes I'm here for days and not taking a trade. It's perfectly okay. It's perfectly okay. And we have to be okay with that. We have to be okay with that. We have to look at the market and we have to get in tune with the market. And when I watch the open, what I'm doing is I'm getting in tune with the market. All right, here we go. We got about 10 seconds left in this bar. So far, nothing to do, but I'm going to continue to stay prepared and sharpen my sword, and I'm going to be ready if that opportunity shows up. Hey, Joe, what if that opportunity doesn't show up till Monday? Then I'll be ready for Monday. So right now, we're going to keep on watching, and we're going to see what happens. All right, so here we are. So we are breaking up to the upside. So what I ended up doing is, again, this is just me. Once I saw one bull bar, a second one, and a third, I got long above this bar, stop below. So we're going to have a stop below. So this is our risk box. And we're going to manage it accordingly. So here we are. This is the open. At this point, it's going to be hard to convince me of the bearish story, at least at this point. As long as they keep printing bull bars, well, then the long is in effect. And we have to stop here, and then we'll see what happens. We'll see if it pulls back. We'll see if it accelerates. But because this could still fail, right? And this could easily, this move up could still fail. But for now, we're long, and our stop stays below. And we're going to manage it. You know, what would get me out of this? If I saw a bear bar or something like this, I would get out below that, but right now that didn't happen, so it doesn't matter. We're going to watch, and we're going to see what the market gives us. Let's see if it stops up here and pulls back. Maybe it pulls back to here, and then I'll decide, you know, what to do. But at this, because this could be a bull trend from the open. So that's why you can say, why don't you wait? What if another bull bar comes here? Now you're up here. So now instead of buying here, now you're buying up here. So now you're getting longer into the way it works with risk and reward is that risk, you can't have risk and reward be good for you, as well as, or I should say, your risk, let me say it this way. How long do you want to wait off the bottom to get in? If I decided to get in right down here, the probability of that trade working will be a lot less because I only have a little bit of risk. The longer I wait, the more probability I have because I have confirmation, but less reward is there, right? Less, because if I would have got down here, I would already have a couple of hour profit. But the chance of that keeping the stop low, the chance of that trade working is a lot lower. So I like to have the high probability trades. That's why I like to wait. But here we are. We're about 10 o'clock, and we are working a long position right now, and we'll see what happens. And I will catch you guys on the other side. Trade well and manage risk.